Hi, everybody. I'm Katie. Welcome to my kitchen, where I like to take my 20 plus years of home baking experience and my 8 plus years in the industry as a trained pastry professional and turn that into stuff you can use. And right now, it is Palisade peach season in Colorado. And this is how excited I am about that. Yes, I literally squealed when I saw them at the farmer's market a couple weeks ago. So I'm going to teach you how to roast them today, which is an amazing way to use up especially really ugly or underripe fruit. It works great with frozen fruit also. Not all fruits are equally predisposed to amazing results with roasting. Peaches and strawberries are my favorite, but play around and see what happens. You might like other fruits roasted also. So to prep my peaches, I washed them thoroughly first, and now I'm just using a Y-shaped vegetable peeler. Now, I personally like just using a vegetable peeler because I'm using kind of underripe fruit. It's not soft and squishy and difficult to handle. Now, if your fruit is a little bit more on the ripe side, I would suggest just eating it fresh because this application really is better for fruits that don't have quite as much flavor to them naturally, because it makes the flavor happen. It's amazing. But you could also blanch them. Standard procedure is blanching in a pot of hot water for, like 30 seconds to a minute, and then shocking them in ice water and then peeling it that way. I personally have never really enjoyed blanching and peeling anything. So I prefer to just go at it with a vegetable peeler. If your peeler's fairly sharp, it really isn't that much more work. um, but to each their own. If you like blanching and peeling peaches, go for it. So I've got 4 pounds of peaches here. It is a pretty decent amount of peaches. But believe it or not, this cooks down to only be about 2 cups when this is all said and done. But the flavor that it packs is phenomenal, and a little goes a long way. There are so many different things you can use these roasted peaches for. I have, put them on top of ice cream. I've chucked them into cookie dough and rolled the cookies in streusel and turned it into a peach cobbler cookie. I've done similar things with like muffins and scones. One of my favorite things is just to put it in the middle of a layer cake as a filling, which is great. Also, it doesn't keep as long as jam, so you need to be aware of that. But you can, as far as I know, you can can it. I have never canned it, but if you can it, jump in the comments and let me know how it goes. So because most of the applications I'm going to use this for, I need smaller pieces of fruit, I'm going to dice it. Now, a little bit of skin left here and there isn't the end of the world. Because of the low and slow cooking method, we don't really get the nasty, slimy peach skin effect the same way as other methods. So I don't worry about the tiny bit of skin here and there. Now, I like to just cut around my peach pit in slabs and then cut those slabs into a dice, as opposed to trying to rip the peach away from the pit. I tend to also gnaw on the cores, quality control, sample your product, that kind of thing. But I clean them up as much as I possibly can with my knife, so I get as much as the good peachy goodness into our pan as possible. Now, I'm just using a 9x13 glass Pyrex pan. You could also use something like a sheet tray or a roasting pan, just non-reactive because it does have acid. So you wouldn't want to like roast this in cast iron or something like that. But the glass pan works just fine. It's a low and slow method. We don't need like high heat shocking it to get any, Maillard browning like we were doing cookies or something like that. All of that will happen as the peaches cook down. So again, it doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't even have to be super pretty. This cooking method allows them to retain a little bit of their shape. So it's not going to turn into like a smooth jam. It will get kind of syrupy and jammy in consistency, but there will still be actual visible pieces of peach in the finished product. So relatively similar in size is great, but you do not need to get overly perfectionistic about the exact size and shape of your peach dice. Don't let anybody near the dessert table with a ruler. Anybody comes to my dessert table with a ruler and starts inspecting my knife skills, they don't get dessert. That's just not nice. Okay. So we're gonna go ahead and just finish this, right? It's a lot of peaches, guys. 4 pounds. I did this with like 40 plus pounds before in one go. It took me like an hour just to peel. And that is why large volume is not nearly as much fun as it sounds. It loses its appeal after you get all excited about the 40-quart mixer and then realize you have to prep enough fruit to actually make something that would fit into a 40-quart mixer. Now, we're just finishing up here. This looks like a lot. This looks like a lot of peaches, but when it is all done, it literally cooks down to about 2 cups. It's such a beautiful process that happens too. It's going to be so much fun. I can't wait for you guys to actually see it. Just remember what it looks like right now, right? This looks like a pretty full 9x13 pan right now. I peel my peaches all into a little pile on the side because I have that pull-out trash can there. And there I am being diligent and cleaning up after myself a little bit. My mother, with her clean as you go mentality, would be so proud, but she never recorded a video for YouTube and then forgot that she walked off scene for a couple of minutes in the editing process. And now you guys get to see that. Off to the side there, I've got a small thing with some cinnamon and some salt, and then I've got my brown sugar, and I've got my orange. Now, you could zest this orange first and retain the zest to use in whatever recipe, cookie or cake or scone, and really play off the orange juice that's in our peaches. But for now, I'm just going to juice this one. I didn't really have a plan for these peaches when I made them. I just knew I was going to use them because they are magical. So I juiced my orange. This isn't an exact science. It really doesn't matter. The juice of a normal label orange, it'll get you like 3 to 4 tablespoons of juice. That's fine. It's about a quarter of a cup. But it really doesn't have to be perfect. I've got all of my ingredient quantities in the blog post. So click the link in the comments and that'll take you to the blog post and you can get the quantities there. So that's a very small amount of brown sugar. A little bit of cinnamon just for some warmth and salt. Now, sugar and salt are going to do 2 things. The salt is going to help break down the fibers in the peaches, and the sugar is going to suck the liquid right out of them. Sugar is hygroscopic, so it attracts water to it. So it literally pulls water out of these peaches. Look at how dry this looks right now. Even though we just put a few tablespoons of orange juice in there, there's barely any liquid. Once you get it stirred really well, you're going to put it in a 325-degree oven for 30 minutes. And then you're going to come back and you're going to stir it. So this is after the first 30-minute round. Now, this is a long process, guys, but it is worth the wait. And here it is after the first 30 minutes in a 325-degree oven. Look at how juicy it is already. This is going to get juicier before it starts getting thicker. And you have to take time. It takes patience. It takes several stirring, but it's really hands-off after you get the peaches prepped. You just have to stir it for 30 seconds every 30 minutes. Depending on how juicy your peaches are and the exact way your oven is, it takes in between like 2.5 and even upwards to 4 hours. Hey, Google. So, set a timer for 30 minutes titled Peaches. And there's me setting a timer to make sure I don't forget about it. So now, 30 minutes later, this has been in there an hour now, and look at how juicy it is. Like, it is just swimming in that beautiful cinnamony orange orange juice, peach juice, brown sugar, loveliness, right? Now, if you do go over the blog and get the recipe, you'll see that you could do this with a vanilla bean in the mix. I didn't have vanilla bean on hand, so later you'll see me add vanilla bean paste. You don't want to add that in the beginning because it'll cook off too much. So there's the second stir. We're going to go in for another 30 minutes, and here it's been in for an hour and a half now. Still pretty juicy, but it's starting to cook down a little bit. There's less visible juice in there. It's getting a little bit darker. The peaches are reducing in volume a little bit. Okay, so here's stir number 4. So now this has been in for 2 hours. And you will see we're getting close. It's darker. The juices are less present. And the ones that are there are starting to thicken a little bit. The fruit is soft. It is so fragrant. I wish you guys could smell this. It smells amazing. Anything that's up on the sides and kind of burnt, don't scrape it down. Because this is sugar based, it actually cleans off in the dishwasher pretty easily. So this has been in 2.5 hours now, and look at how thick it is. It's thick, it's jammy. There's barely any juices present. It almost holds its shape as I'm stirring it, and it's reduced in size significantly. And this is where I'm going to stop. You could keep going a tiny bit more, but I don't really feel like pushing it. As it sits in the refrigerator, because you do want to stir this in the refrigerator, it will kind of release a little bit more juices. Here I am measuring my vanilla bean paste with my heart. It's about a teaspoon or so, guys, but I measure all my vanilla with my heart. Which is part of the reason why I make my own vanilla bean paste and vanilla extract sometimes for my business. If you guys are interested in seeing a video on that, let me know. Put it in the comments. It's easy, actually, and it doesn't take a year like a lot of people think it does. So there we go. Vanilla-y, cinnamony, brown sugary, peachy, little bit of acid from the peach and the citrus that we put in there. And this is one of the most amazing additions. Okay, this is quality control. All right, I have to make sure it tastes good. If you're not quality controlling your product, guys, you shouldn't be feeding it to other people. I don't understand chefs who don't taste their stuff constantly. Like, do these peaches taste good? Does this brown sugar taste good? Why not? It's a little gritty, okay, but it tastes like molasses. Why not lick it off your fingers? And then wash your hands, because generally speaking, we are baking for other people to eat it too. But also, if you're just baking for yourself, no judgment. Just lick your fingers and keep going. So this container I have here is precisely 2 cups. Now, if you remember how much we started with, look at how far it cooked down. Oh, it's so beautiful. It's still chunky. Like, it's not just straight mush like jam is. It's not overly sweet because we barely put any sugar in it. Please give it a try. Let me know what you use it for. What are your results? Are you going to try and roast other fruits? You could use the same method, switch out the citrus and the type of sugar, and see what happens. And here it is, the final amazing concoction that is roasted peaches. Check out the recipe on the blog, Confessions of a Wayward Baker, and leave me a comment. What do you want to see me do next? Have a good one, guys. Have fun roasting.